Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you all for joining us for our April Challenger Week 3. So, next week is our final session of this series. So, it's gone by pretty quick, but all of our sessions have been recorded and they are uploaded onto our YouTube channel. So, if anybody wants to try the classes again, you're welcome to find them on our YouTube channel. Hi, guys. So if you are new to our session today, hopefully you can see a chat box open on the right-hand side of your screen. I know some of you are already typing on there. Thanks for your comments. If you can't see the chat box, it might be in a little collapsed icon, sort of like a blue circle on your screen, and it should say public chat or public room. If you click on that, it should open up the chat box. And you can use the chat box to communicate with me throughout the class because I can't hear you guys. Because you can imagine if everybody's microphones were turned on, it'd be a little bit noisy in here for our class. So if you are new today, this is the April Challenger class, meaning that it's mostly targeting standing. So everything we're going to be doing will be in standing. And in our first session, I did show some seated modifications in case there's anybody who wanted to try, but maybe they're not quite at the level where they can do the entire class in standing. But of course, after the first class, nobody was actually doing it in sitting, so I stopped showing seated modifications. But if you are someone who wants to exercise, but you would like to do seated versions of the class instead, what you can do is you can look on our YouTube channel for our seated exercise circuit. So it's a similar style to our April Challenger, where we do the circuit exercises 2 minutes each, 5 stations, and then you kind of run through them twice. So same style, but a little bit slower paced and a little bit lower impact. So that's our seated exercise circuit on our YouTube channel if you wanted to try that instead of the standing one, if you prefer not to do the standing one. But for our class, because it's called April Challenger, we do want to try to challenge you. And so everything is going to be in standing and hopefully be a little bit challenging for you. So before we get started today, you can see that at the very top of the chat box, I put in our email address, which is info@parkinson.bc.ca. If you have any questions for me or any suggestions for future exercise classes, let me know. Send me an email. I would love to hear from you. Or if you just have general questions about exercise, that's fine. You can also email me. For today's class, we're going to be using the same equipment we did last time. So here I've got 2 towels, or you can use fabrics, little scarves, something that's relatively lightweight and pretty small. So ideally not bath towels, but something smaller. 2 of them would be good. They don't have to be the same size as long as they're both pretty small. And then I've got my trusty cushion here. So this is just a couch cushion, something relatively small that you can hold on to with both hands comfortably. But of course, if you don't have anything this small, that's okay. A bigger one is okay, as long as you're able to hold on to it. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to mention before we start the class. I can see people were trickling in as I was speaking there. So if you are new to the class, my name is Shelly, in case you haven't read the chat box. It's nice to meet you all virtually, and let's get moving. If you have any questions, let me know using the chat box. I won't be able to read it while we're exercising together, but I will get to it at the end. Okay. I'm just pulling up my timer here so I can see the time as we go along. Okay, let's have a stand up. Make sure you got some space around you. There's no furniture or anything that you might kick by accident, okay? Right, let's get started. We're gonna start by marching on the spot. You're going to start by lifting those knees nice and high, swinging those arms. Now, it's really important that when you are doing the marching on the spot, even though it's a simple movement, I don't want you to just swing the arms forward, right? So if I go sideways, I don't want to see the arms going like this. I want to see them swinging back as well. So your arms should be swinging equally both directions, right? So not just forward and then a little bit back, but you want the backward swing to be just as big as the one going forward. Nice and simple. Now, if at any point during the class you find anything I'm doing is a little bit too fast, don't worry. Feel free to slow it down and do it at your own pace. That's okay. As long as you try to keep going with the exercise, try to maintain the technique of the exercise, and to only take breaks if you absolutely need to, because we do want to build a bit of your stamina as well, especially now that we're in week 3. This class and next class will be more challenging than the ones previously. Okay, so we're going to keep the marching pattern going. This time with the marching pattern, you're just going to travel it forward. So exactly the same pattern. We're just traveling it forward and then traveling back as well. So essentially, you're marching and you're going forward and backwards. Making sure the arms are still swinging and your chest is nice and open. You're standing nice and tall. Imagine you've got a book balancing on your head, so you don't want your body to be like this, but you want the crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. Doesn't have to be fast. We're just warming up the legs a bit by traveling with our marching. Good, keep it going. We'll do a few more like this. Well done. Good. And then we're going to come back to the middle. So wherever you are, travel back to a middle spot. And then from here, we're going to keep the legs going with the march, but we're going to float the arms up into a T shape. So legs keep going. Now, you're going to bring your knee to meet your opposite hand like that. Knee to hand. So the reason I'm saying knee to hand rather than hand to knee is because as we're doing this movement, I don't want you to then go like this, right? So I don't want you to bring your body down. I want you to keep your body up nice and high, and you want the knees to be lifting up to meet the hand. So essentially your hand doesn't really go anywhere. It kind of bends in maybe a little bit lower, but you're not reaching down like this. Instead, you want the knee to come up. And then, of course, the slower you go, the more difficult, because the more you have to balance as you're doing this movement, making sure your arms come back up to the T shape every time you place that foot down. Good. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, 1. This time, you're going to bring your knee to the forearm, opposite forearm. So now, because we're moving up to the forearm, you're going to have to twist your body a little bit more in order for that knee to touch that forearm. Now, if you can't quite touch your forearm, that's okay, don't worry. Just go as far as you can up the arm. We're still standing up nice and tall, so even though we're now twisting our upper body over our hips, we're still imagining that book on top of our head that we're going to not drop. And again, the slower you go, the more difficult, because the more you have to balance. Good, well done. Let's go 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. This time we're going to bring the knee to the elbow. So this one's even more difficult because you have to twist even more in the upper body in order to get the knee to reach the opposite elbow. And of course, if you can't actually twist that far, don't worry, absolutely fine. Just go as far up the arm as you're able to. Trying to keep the knees up nice and high if you can, making sure the arms reach back out into that T shape every time. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, last one, and drop the arms. This time we're going to tap one foot forward and push the opposite hand forward. So notice here my fingers are nice and wide open, and then we come back down. Same thing, other side. Tapping forward and pushing the opposite arm. Now, as I'm tapping, I'm not actually stepping on the leg, right? I'm not stepping. I'm keeping my weight in the same spot. I'm just tapping that heel forward like so. Pushing the opposite arm forward, almost like you're giving someone a high five in front of you. That's it. Practicing weight shifting from side to side, tapping that heel forward, pushing the opposite arm 2 legs forward. Spreading that palm, opening those fingers. Good, well done. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, arms up, elbows up. You're going to tap the leg out to the side and then reach the opposite arm out as well, like so. So you're tapping the toes out to the side. So if I ignore the arms for a second, you're tapping the toes like this, okay? And we're just reaching the opposite arm out to the side at the same time, keeping those elbows nice and high. Don't want to see anybody arms come down. You want the elbows to be nice and high the whole time if you can. And same thing here, you're not stepping on the leg, right? So we're not stepping, but we're tapping. You're tapping the toes out to the side. Imagine there's eggshells underneath that toe, so you're not pressing on it. You're just lightly tapping. Good. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop the arms. This time, start with fists by your shoulders like so, and you're going to tap the foot back like so. You're tapping the toes back. We're not stepping back, but we're tapping the toes back. Now, as you tap, you're going to reach the opposite arm up to the ceiling like so. Spreading those fingers nice and wide as you reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. So same thing here. We're not stepping on that back leg, right? We're not stepping there. We're just tapping the toes. Imagine there's eggshells on the floor, so you don't want to crush it. You just want to tap the toes back, and you're reaching the opposite arm up toward the ceiling, standing nice and tall, chest open. Good. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. This time you're going to circle one of your arms backwards like so. And every time you circle down, you're going to do a little bend in the knee. Almost like you're using the bend in the knee to act as momentum, to swing that arm back like so. Now, we're going to add in the other arm. What you're going to do here is you're going to circle the other arm in the opposite direction. Little bit of a thinker here. So one arm is going back and the other arm is going forward. So feel free to do this slower. You don't need to do it at my speed. Go slower, just so you can wrap your head around the opposition of the arms here. So as you're swinging, the arms are going in the opposite directions. If I go slower, you can see one is going back, one is going forward, and then they switch. One is going forward, one is going back. Yeah, you can see that? Yep. And then if you feel brave, you can add in that little bend in the knees as you swing those arms down, kind of like using momentum a little bit. A couple more here. And then when you're ready, you're going to switch directions of those arms. Switch directions. So you're still circling those arms in opposite directions, but you're just switching them. So if one arm is going forward before, you're going to move that one back this time. So you're circling those arms in opposite directions. Little bend in the knees if you like. You don't have to. If you like to just concentrate on the arms, that's okay as well. Remember, you don't need to go quite as speedy. Feel free to go slower. Or if you have the hang of it, feel free to go faster. A couple more. And let's relax. Stepping those legs out nice and wide. Reaching those arms out to the side into that T shape. From here, we're going to bend down to the side, almost like you're reaching your arms on a diagonal here. And you should feel a stretch on the outside of your body. Now, important thing here is you're keeping your chest forward, and we're not doing this, right? So we're not turning our chest down. We're keeping it forward like so. And then what we're going to do, keeping your upper body where it is, the same angle here, you're going to take your top arm and clap it to the bottom arm. So this time when you're clapping, you are bringing your chest down to the floor, and then you open back out to the camera. And then again, chest down to the floor as you clap down, and then open at the camera. Clap down, chest down, and open. One more. Down, and open, and come back up. Drop the arms for a second, and then we reset into that wide position. From here, we're going to bend down to the opposite side, thinking about that diagonal. So you're stretching the outside of your body, chest facing forward. Then from here, we're going to bring the top arm down to the bottom arm and turn your chest down as well. And then you open back up. So notice how the curve that I have here in the body stays the same. So just because I'm clapping down doesn't mean I'm standing back up. I'm keeping myself in that position as I rotate down. Good. Let's do one more. And then we come back up and drop the arms. Okay, are we ready? Are we warm? So the first exercise we're going to do, you're going to grab hold of your cushion. Now, just a reminder for our circuit exercise, we have 5 exercises. We're doing 2 minutes for each of them, and then we run through them twice, and that's it. Okay, so just 5 exercises. Now, the first one, holding onto the cushion here, you're going to have your legs about hip width apart like so. I'm going to show you the legs first. So what you're going to do here is you're going to step one of your legs out to the side like this and have your chest facing the direction of travel. So you can see this foot here, the toes are pointing out to the side, and so is my chest. The other leg stays where it is, and then I come back in. Same thing, other side. The leg steps out to the side, and I turn my upper body to the side without moving this leg, and then I come back in. So again, other side, step out, face out, and come back in. Other side, stepping out, face out, and come back in. Now, adding in the cushion. So we're holding the cushion into our chest. As we step out, we're going to push the cushion forward like this. And then from here, you're going to throw the cushion at the floor as hard as you can 3 times like this. 1, 2, as hard as you can. 3. Stand back up. When you step in, arms back in. Okay, so you're keeping your balance as you throw the cushion. Other side, stepping out, push the cushion out in front of you like so. Throw it at the floor 3 times as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3. Hold it out and then step in. Make sense? So when you're throwing the cushion, I don't want to see anybody do this with their feet or move your feet back in. Imagine once you stepped out, your feet are stuck. They're stuck in that position. You're holding your balance as you throw. And when I say throw, I don't mean this, right? Doesn't count. Doesn't count. We have to actually use our body to throw. So you want to hear a loud sound on the floor. Unless you have neighbors underneath you, then maybe be a little bit careful. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, should we try it? 2 minutes, standing with your feet underneath your hips, holding onto your cushion. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. As hard as you can. When you throw the cushion 3 times at the floor, when you stand back up, hold for a second, and then come back in, bring the cushion to your chest. When you step out, you push the cushion out in front of you, then you throw it at the floor as hard as you can. 3 times, stand back up, hold, come back into the middle. Make sure when you're throwing the cushion, you stand back up each time before you throw the cushion. So I don't want to see you curving down to the floor as you're throwing. So I don't want you to do this, right? We want to make sure we stand back up and lift the cushion overhead every time so we can reset the effort levels every time we throw the cushion. How are we doing? Do we hate this one yet? You have 1 minute left. Also, if you can, you want to try to step out as far as you can to the side. So I don't want the step to be so small that you're barely transferring weight. So you actually want the step out to the side to be sort of like a lunge position, if you will. So step out as far as you can without losing your balance. And then see if you can hold that position as you throw the cushion at the floor as hard as you can, 3 times. Not sure if you can hear the sound of my pillow slapping on the ground, but you want to be able to hear your pillow hitting the floor and not just being dropped to the floor. Well done. And rest. Not too bad, 2 minutes. Okay. Our next exercise, we still need our pillow. I don't know why I put it away. So our next one, I'm going to show you the legs. You're going to hold on to the pillow, ignore it for a second. I'll show you what to do with it. So feet are going to be hip width apart or a little bit wider, whatever is comfortable for you. We're going to do a squat and a rise. It looks like this. A squat, so kind of like if I go sideways, imagine you're about to sit down in a chair. So you're sending your bottom back. So I don't want to see anybody do this, right? So we're not tipping our knees forward, but you're sticking your bottom back like you're about to sit down. Stand back up. Then from here, you're going to rise up onto your toes and lower. Okay, so let me show you again from the front. Squat down, stand back up, rise. Again, squat down, stand back up, rise. Now, the cushion, here's what you're going to do. You're going to squat down, pass the cushion around your back, stand up, rise, pass the cushion around the head. Squat down, pass the cushion around the back, rise, pass the cushion around the head. Now, if balance is an issue for you on the rise, don't worry. Just go up and down. So you don't need to hold it at the top if you can't. Just go up and down and then circle it around your head. So it's up to you. If you can, hold the rise as you circle, do that. But if you can't, no worries. Just try. Try just one little one. And then the cushion goes around the head. Make sense? So squatting down, circling the cushion around the back, rising up, or you can do a rise and then lower, circle the cushion around the head. 2 minutes. Okay, are we ready? Have you got your trusty cushion? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Really squeeze your bum cheeks together when you stand back up from that squat, circling around the back. Then squeeze your bum cheeks to stand up, Keep squeezing your bum cheeks as you rise up, and then repeat. So see if you can try and keep your chest up when you are doing the squat and passing the cushion around you. And as you rise up, it might help you with your balance if you think pushing the floor away from you to rise up. So you're pushing down to go up. That might help you more than just thinking about going up. How are we doing so far? A quiet chat box is always a good thing. Keep it going. Make sure you're not holding your breath. We want to keep breathing as we're doing these movements. You've got 1 minute left. Making sure when you're doing your squat, you're sending those hips back, right? So we don't want to see anybody do this. Stick your bottom back, almost like you're about to sit down in a chair. Keeping your spine nice and long from your tailbone to your head, nice and long. Good. How are we feeling? You're almost there. You've got about 30 seconds, a little bit less. Doing good. Make sure we're breathing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Okay, we're going to put our pillows away and we're going to grab our towels or scarves or fabrics or whatever it is you're using. You're going to hold one in each hand. Now, for people who were here last week, you probably remember our scarf snatch, and you probably remember it because you don't like it very much. But we're going to do it again. And today, we're going to change it slightly so it's a little bit more challenging. So here's what you're going to do. Let me show you the legs first. Holding onto the fabrics in each hand or the scarves, you're going to step back like that. Okay, that's it. You're stepping back. Stepping back. Now, if I go sideways, when you step back, I don't want to see anybody do this. Doesn't count. Too small. So we want to step back as far as we can without falling, as far as we can, stepping back like that. Okay? Now, if this is already challenging for you, then I want you to just stay here. Just stay here and step back. But what I want you to do, if you can, is as you're stepping back, you're going to use the same arm and leg. So if I'm stepping back with this leg, then I'm using this arm. So as you step back with the same arm, you're going to throw and catch, and then hold for a second in the split leg stance, and then come back to the middle. Same thing, other side. Throw and catch as you step back. Let me turn sideways so you can see. Throw and catch as you step back. Throw and catch as you step back. Okay? Now, a couple different options. The first option was just stepping back. If that's already tough for you, that's okay. Just step back as far as you can. If you want to try the throwing and catching, but the stepping and catching is a little bit too hard at the same time, then what I want you to do is I want you to step back first, hold this position, and then take the same arm as the back leg to throw, catch, and hold. Same thing. Step back first, and then you throw and you catch, hold, and then back in. Okay? Or if you want more of a challenge, you're going to step back and throw at the same time. Step back and throw at the same time, and then holding it like so. If that's still too easy for you, don't know who you are, but if it's still too easy for you, as you step back, I want you to try throwing and catching with both arms. Except don't do it like how I did it just now. Throwing and catching with both arms if you would like. Okay, but just be a little bit careful because this one's harder than what we did last week. Last week we stepped forward, right? So today we're stepping back. So just be a little bit careful because the backward stepping is more challenging. Okay, are we ready? 2 minutes on the clock. I'm going to face sideways so you can see me, but feel free to face straight on for you. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So it's up to you what version you do as long as you hold that lunge for a few seconds. Or sorry, if you're not doing a lunge, you're doing a step. So hold that split leg stance for just a second or two before coming back to the middle, just because we want to give you that opportunity to try and balance a little bit as you do this. Now, I'm doing option 2 here. But remember, if this is too tough for you, or sorry, I'm doing option 3 here, you can just practice stepping back with your leg and then not throwing the arms at all. Or you step back first and then you throw the towel up in the air. Well done. How are we doing? You've got 1 minute left. Make sure you hold that step for just a few seconds after you threw and caught the towel or scarf or fabric, whatever you're using. Step back as far as you can. I know this one's a little bit of a tough one, so take your time. This one's not about speed. It's more about the coordination, but also the ability for you to step back and transfer weight as you're doing something else. Well done, everybody. You got 15 seconds. You're almost there. Keep practicing. How high can you throw your towel or scarf or fabric, whatever you're using? Can you throw it higher and step back further? And rest. Good. Okay. Well, you can put those towels away for now. You've got 2 more exercises, and then we're doing everything again from the beginning. And then you're done. So you're almost there. Okay. Our next one, I'm going to show you the legs first, and then I'll add the arms. So here's what it looks like. You're going to step or lunge forward with one of your legs, and then come back. The same leg is going to step or lunge backwards. Let me turn sideways. So here's what it looks like. Step or lunge forward. So if you're lunging forward, you're sending that back knee to the floor, or you can just step, okay? So step or lunge forward, same leg, step or lunge backward, like that, okay? And then other side, forward, same leg, backward. Other side, forward, and backward. Okay, so that's what the legs are doing. Now, as you're doing the legs, you're going to swing. So if I turn sideways, you're swinging the arms like so. And you're swinging the arms in opposition to what the leg's doing. So here's what it looks like if I go on a diagonal. I'm going to lunge forward, and I'm going to put the opposite arm. So if I go forward, I'm lunging forward, and I'm using the opposite arm to leg to reach forward. So like that. And then come back in. Then when I go back, same thing, opposite arm to leg reaching. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Lunge forward or step. Come in, lunge back or step backward, like that. Other side. Lunge forward, lunge back. Lunge forward, lunge back. So you do a forward and backwards lunge on the same leg, and then you switch to the other side. Now, if you don't want to lunge and you want to step, this is what it looks like. Step forward, step back. Other side. Step forward, step back.
Okay, so really similar, stepping forward, stepping back. So you can do a step or a lunge, but make sure the back arm is still lifted and you're reaching the arms in opposite directions. Okay, we want to try? Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm facing you sideways so you can see what's going on with my arms and legs, but feel free to face straight on. So remember, if you can't lunge, that's okay, don't worry. Stepping is absolutely fine, but you want to make sure you work on the opposition of the arms. Make sure those fingers are nice and open. You're reaching the arms in opposite direction, kind of like you're trying to touch the front wall of the room and the back wall of the room at the same time. Now, if I'm going too fast, don't worry, slow it down. Doesn't necessarily need to be about speed, as long as we try to elongate the arms and step out or lunge as far as we can. 1 minute left. Keep that chest up if you can. Imagine you're balancing that book on your head, keeping your spine nice and long. If you are lunging, I want you to think about your body like an elevator. So it can only go up and down, not forward and backward, right? Up and down. Doing good. You've got about 15 seconds left. Make sure you're still breathing. No one's holding their breath. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome job. Okay. You've got one more exercise, and then we're doing that all over again from the beginning, and then you're done. So you're almost there. Okay. Next one, we're going to start with the legs nice and wide open, like so. So ideally, wider than your shoulder, wider than your hips. So I don't want to see anybody do this. I want you to go a little bit wider. Okay? Now, clasp your hands together like so. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to bring your hands down to the outside of one of your ankles. Doesn't matter which one, because we'll do both. But you're bringing your hands down to the outside of one of your ankles. Bend those knees slightly. And then from here, you're going to pull up on a diagonal. So here, if I go slower, you can see I'm drawing a diagonal line, right? So the effort here is aimed at the pulling up and then down. Pulling up. So pulling up is the effort you're aiming for. So really drive down into your heels, into your feet, in order to get yourself up on that diagonal. Now, that's level 1. If you want to try that, keep your feet on the floor, reaching your fists up like so, both feet on the floor. If you want to challenge, what I'm going to get you to do is as you pull up, you're going to shift your weight over so that this foot that you started with is barely touching the floor. So it is touching the floor, but most of your weight is on the other side. So let me show you again. So here, switch weight. Here, switch weight so that your toe is on the floor. Level 3, if you want even more of a challenge, as you pull up, balance, and back down. Pulling up, balance, and coming down. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 1 minute, one side, and then we're going to switch for the last minute to the other side. So I'll let you know when to switch. Just try this one. Now, be a little bit careful if you have backs that are a little bit finicky, they're a little bit sore. Just be careful as you're pulling up. I don't want you to use your back. I want you to drive through the legs as you pull up. Okay? Okay, should we try? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So up to you what level you choose. Either have both feet on the floor, or you can transfer your weight and have the other foot sort of hovering or barely touching the floor, or you can have it completely off the floor. Entirely up to you. Emphasize on the pulling up, driving through your legs as you pull up. Well done. Got 30 seconds left on this side. Really make sure you reach down as low as you can. And when you come up, you're really trying to draw that diagonal as long as you can. So it's not just going down and up, you're going on a diagonal. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. Other side. So same thing here. Either have both feet on the floor as you're drawing that diagonal, or you can have the weight shift over so that the foot you're starting with is kind of lifting off the floor except for the toes, or the hardest level, have the entire foot coming off the floor as you pull off. So entirely up to you. 30 seconds left. Draw as big as you can there with that diagonal. Keep breathing. Well done, well done. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, how are we doing? Still with me? Whew, well done. Okay, we have one more round of the 5 exercises we just did, and then we're done. So you're almost there. 5 exercises left, and then we'll do a quick cool down, and then you're off doing your own thing for the rest of the day. So we're almost there. You can do it. Okay, we're going to grab hold of our cushion again. We're going to go back to our first exercise. So let me remind you, you're holding that cushion into your chest. Legs are going to be relatively narrow, as in hip width apart, or maybe a little bit more narrow than that. From here, you're stepping out to the side, noticing how as I step out to the side, I also face out to the side, but my other leg stays where it is. I'm just turning my hips and my body a bit like that. And then from here, you're going to throw, keyword throw, not drop, the cushion at the floor 3 times as hard as you can. 1, 2, 3. Holding it up. Come back in. Pull the cushion back in. Deep breath. And then same thing, other side. Stepping out, facing the outside, holding that cushion in front of you with straight arms. Then you're going to throw at the floor as hard as you can. 3 times, and then step back in. Okay, are we ready? Let's try. 3, 2, 1, and go. So with this one, you're trying to exert as much effort as possible when you're throwing the cushion, and the rest of the time, you're kind of holding in each of these poses for just a second or two to really ensure that we've got the right balance. Because if you're doing this really quickly, it's probably a bit easier for your balance because you're not actually having to hold any kind of position, but you're just going from leg to leg real quick. So it's better if you go a little bit slower and hold the positions and come back. So really step out as far as you can and then throw the cushion at the floor as hard as you can. This bit can be fast. And then hold your position again before stepping back in. Well done, everybody. You got 50 seconds left. You're almost there. So see if you can really smash that pillow into the floor as hard as you can. You want to hear the sounds of the pillow hitting the floor. Unless you've got neighbors downstairs, then maybe don't be as loud in case they hate us for doing this class. Almost there, almost there. You got about 30 seconds. Holding each position, stepping out as far as you can. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whoo! Deep breath, catch your breath. Okay. Next one was our squat, circling the cushion around us. Rise up, circle the cushion around the head. Remember this one? Squat down, stick the bottom back, pillow goes around the back. Rise up, pillow goes around the head. I think I remember this one. Okay. Are you ready? 2 minutes for this one. And then after this, you got 3 exercises left, and then we're done. You're almost there. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go. Squatting down, circling that cushion around your back. Stand up, rise around the head. Good. So when you're doing your squat, I want you to try to stick your bottom down as low as you can, really like you're about to sit in a little chair. So maybe a stool. Imagine it's a short stool that you're about to sit down in. So you're really sticking your bottom back, keeping your chest up though, as you're doing that. And then when you rise up, I want you to think about pushing the floor away from you. Rather than just thinking, I need to go up in order to rise, I want you to think down to go up. That would help you with your balance. How are we doing? Good. Keep breathing. Remember, it doesn't have to be as fast as what I'm doing. If you want to slow it down, that's okay. Or if you need a break, that's okay. Take a couple of moments and then get right back into it if you can. Good. Well done. You've got a minute left. You're almost there. Keep breathing. Making sure you stand up fully before you do the rise. Keep the head up nice and tall. Spine long from your tailbone all the way up to your head. Well done, everybody. How we doing? Keep breathing. Remember, if the rise is a bit of an issue for you, don't worry. You don't need to hold the rise. As you're circling the cushion around you, you could rise, lower, and then circle the cushion around you. Well done. You've got 15 seconds left, and then we're done this exercise. You're almost there. Try squeezing those bum cheeks together as you stand up from the squat, squeezing your bum cheeks together, and then squeeze even more as you rise up. So we're thinking pushing down into the floor with the feet in order to rise up. And rest. Okay, good. We can put our cushion away, and we're going to grab hold of our towels, fabric, scarves, whatever it is you're using. This is our star snatch exercise or fabric snatch. So reminder, this is the one where you step back with your legs like that, right? So we're stepping back. So if I go sideways, you are stepping back, and then at the same time, you're throwing and catching with the same arm as the leg going back. After you catch the fabric, you're holding this position for just a second or two, and then you come back. Same thing, other side, stepping back, throw and catch, hold it for a second, and coming back. Now, a couple options like we mentioned before. If this is really challenging for you, don't worry. This is a challenging exercise anyway. So you can just leave the arms and practice stepping back. If that's all you want to do, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure when we're stepping back, you're stepping back as far as you can. So I don't want to see this. This doesn't count. Doesn't count. We got to step back further like that. Okay. So that's option 1, stepping back without the arms. Option 2, step back and then you throw and catch. So that way you're not moving your arms and legs at the same time. Or if you like more of a challenge, you're going to step back at the same time you're throwing and catching. okay? Or if you really want, you can do both. You can do both arms if you're feeling brave. Okay, are we ready? 2 minutes. I'm gonna stand on an angle so you can see me, but for you at home, stand face on, that's okay. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So remember, we're stepping back as far as we can, right? So I don't want to see anybody barely step back and you're kind of on the same spot, but kind of not. So you really need to make sure it's a distinctive step. So it should be very obvious you've taken that step back. And if you are doing the throwing and catching version as well, I want you to try and let your eyes follow the fabric or the towel or the scarf. So whatever you're throwing, let your eye line follow the movement of the object when you're throwing, and that will help with your catch. And it would also help if when you're throwing sort of up above your head rather than forward, because if you throw forward, you're gonna have a really tough time staying balanced while trying to catch the fabric. So see if you can throw it kind of up overhead, catch it, hold for a few seconds, and then come back. 1 minute left. Well done, everybody. So if you feel like it's starting to get a little bit easier, or maybe it's not, but if it is feeling a little bit easier, feel free to up the levels like we talked about. So if you're doing only the feet version, see if you can add in the arms if it's starting to feel a little bit easier. Or if you're doing the feet and arms separately, see if you can do a few with the feet and the arms together. Or if you want, you can try both of those towels at the same time for the last little bit. You got 15 seconds left. See how much you can challenge yourself for the last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome job, everybody. You got 2 exercises left, and then we're done. You're almost there. Okay, our next one was the lunging forward and backwards, or the stepping if you don't want to lunge. So let me remind you, it was this one. Lunge or step forward while reaching the opposite arm forward, and then the other arm back. Coming in, same leg, going backwards this time. So you go forward and back with the same leg, and then you switch forward and back. Okay, so if you don't want to lunge, stepping is fine as long as you're stepping as far as you can. And noticing here, I'm putting my weight onto the leg that I'm stepping on. Yeah, so if you're stepping, try to lean your weight to the leg that you're stepping on. Or if you're lunging, you're keeping your body in the middle, no tipping forward and back. You want your body to be like an elevator up and down. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So see how far you can step here. If you're doing the stepping version, I want you to challenge yourself by stepping out as far as you can. If you're lunging, I'm going to challenge yourself to lunge lower, almost like you're about to kneel on the floor and you want to get that back knee down to the floor. Good. Keep breathing, chest up, spine nice and long. Make sure you're reaching those arms, opposite arm to leg. Remember, if I'm going too fast, don't worry, slow it down. Or if you feel like you need a break, you need a breather, that's okay. Have a breather and then try to get right back into it if you can. 1 minute left. I feel like time is going by so quick today. Not sure if I'm the only one. Well done, everybody. Keep it going if you can. You can probably see the theme of today's class. Lots of weight shifting, lots of coordination type activities. It's a little bit more challenging than our class previously. Keep that chest up if you're doing the lunging version. Don't let yourself tip forward. Imagine that book balancing on your head. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay. One last one, and then you're done. Yay. We're almost there. We're almost there. Our last one is our reverse wood chop exercise, where we have the leg nice and wide. So the wider the better, as long as you don't feel like you're about to slide into the splits, okay? Not that wide, but wide enough for you to find the balance a little bit of a challenge when you shift your weight over. Okay, so we're clasping our hands together. We're reaching them down to the outside of one of your ankles, and then you're gonna pull up on a diagonal. So if I'm starting down here, my end position should be on a diagonal, reaching this way. Try to keep those arms straight if you can. So keep those arms straight as you pull up. Options here. Option 1, keep both feet on the floor, or option 2, lean your way over so only the toe on this side is on the floor. Can you see that? So my foot is on the floor, and then from here, when I pull up, can you see that my toe is now on the floor? So my heel has popped up, right? So that idea. Or level 3, have the entire leg off the floor like this. So the leg and the arm should be reaching in opposite directions. So we'll do 1 minute one side, 1 minute the other side. You can choose your level. And then after this, quick stretch, then we're done. You're almost there. You got like 3 minutes. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Choose your level. Keep breathing. This is your last exercise. Make it good. Think about reaching on that diagonal, keeping those arms straight if you can. How far can you draw this diagonal line? How much weight can you transfer as you're doing this movement here? How much effort can you exert with the pulling up movement? Well done. Good job, everybody. 20 seconds. Almost there. You got last 15 seconds before we switch sides. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch side. Same thing on the other side. Choose your level. You got last minute here. You're doing really good. You're almost there. Keep breathing. Keep reaching. Really push down into the floor as you're reaching up on that diagonal. Yes, well done, well done. Keep breathing. Doing good. Really bend those knees as you come down and really pull on that diagonal. Well done, everybody. Well done. Last 15 seconds. You're almost there. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Soften those arms. Mini bend to the knees. Bring those arms down and up overhead. Breathing out. Breathing in. Up overhead and out. One more. Breathing in and out. Step the leg out to the side. Bring your hands to one knee. So you're bending toward that knee, keeping the other leg nice and straight. And you should get a nice stretch on the inner thigh of that leg, holding it for 3, 2, 1. And we're going to switch sides. Same thing, other side, bending down. Really keeping the other leg straight, so you're stretching the inside of your thigh. Holding it for 3, 2, 1, and coming back up. Find a wall. You can put your hands on the wall or a table or a chair, and you're going to step one of your legs back. So you're in a lunge position like this. So the purpose here is you want to separate the thighs, really stick your bottom in underneath you, and you're reaching that back heel down to the floor to feel a stretch at the back of the calf here, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up. Same thing, other side. Stepping back. If you don't feel that stretch, you need to step back a little bit further. Reach that back heel to the ground, tuck that hip underneath, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing back up. You can use a chair or a wall for this next one. We're going to stretch your thigh. If you like, hold onto the wall, grab hold of your foot, and pull it up towards your bottom. Or you can place a chair behind you, put your foot on the chair, keep those knees together, push the hips forward, holding the stretch here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Same thing on the other side. Bring your leg up on the chair, or you can hold onto your leg and pull it towards your bottom. Push your hips forward, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, I know that was a super duper quick stretch, but you are done. How are we feeling? Are we all sweaty and hot like I am? Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Okay, well, next class is our final class. And like always, the class is recorded, so it will go on to our YouTube channel this time next week. So last class is already on YouTube. So if anybody wants to redo it, if you feel brave, you can go on our YouTube channel and you can do the class again if you would like. Other than that, I will see you all next week for our final class, which hopefully will be a little bit more challenging balance-wise, but it won't be too challenging cardio-wise. So if you're really breathless, don't worry. Next class will be pretty much the same. It won't be harder, but we're going to do more of a balance challenge next class just so we can finish off. Yes, ready for the sauna? Me too. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us. I hope you have a lovely Friday tomorrow and a lovely weekend, and I will see you all next week. Bye, everyone. Thank you.